first off, always invest early. A lot of people think that if you have a smaller amount to invest, it's really not going to grow too much. That's not true. Let's look at this example. So if you're 25 today and you can invest 5,000 rupees a month for the next 35 years, it's actually going to grow to about 1.9 crores. But if you're going to start at the age of 45 and you're going to invest 20,000 rupees a month for just 15 years, it's only going to grow to 83 lakhs. So certainly there is a big difference. We have assumed a 12% return on investment in both of these cases. So as you can see, a smaller amount invested for a longer period of time can actually amount to much more than a bigger amount invested for a smaller period of time. So that's point one. The second part about it is increase the amount on a regular basis. Don't just stick to that. So if you started with 5,000, don't just stick to the 5,000. Keep increasing the amount on a regular basis. So let's take another example. Let's say that somebody is doing a 10,000 rupees SIP for a 10-year period. And again, let's assume return on investment at 12%. Now, if the person just continues this SIP, which is 10,000 rupees a month for the next 10 years, then at the end of 10 years, the maturity value is 22 lakhs. But if the person actually has done a step up of 1,000 rupees a month, so increasing the SIP amount by 1,000 rupees per month, then the value that they're going to end up with is 30 lakh rupees, right? So that's quite a big difference, right? 22 lakhs versus 30 lakhs. So it's certainly worth it to do an increase in the SIP amount. And this is what I normally recommend, that with the increase in salary, you should certainly also look at increasing the SIP amount. The third thing is also to remain invested. So we talked about investing early. We talked about increasing the SIP amount. But the key to actually building wealth in the SIP is to remain invested. Let's look at what happened last year. For example, if somebody started an SIP on January 1st, 2013, I've just taken one of the funds. I'm not going to name the fund. Let's call it Fund X. The return as of January 1st, 2020 was 14.5%. But as of March 31st, because there was this big crash in the market, the return was only 5%, right? A lot of people at that point actually wanted to exit the investment. But those who held on the investment till the end of the year ended with a return of 14%. So this is an example of a change that happened just during 1 year. But during the SIP period, you will find many such periods where markets are up and markets are down. And the key is to remain invested, because that's when the growth actually happens. So these are the three key things in making the SIP work, which is investing early, increasing the SIP amount, and third is remaining invested. The first thing is not to do trend chasing. This is data from Money Control itself, which shows that every year the best performing category keeps changing, right? So there's no point in doing trend chasing, because every time you follow the previous year's best performer, the following year, it doesn't do that well. So no point in doing that as well. Again, if you see the difference between the best performing and the worst performing fund works out somewhere between 6 to 7%. So it's very important to do the right research. And there are a lot of factors that one needs to look at, like risk-adjusted returns, look at volatility ratios, many other factors that are taken into account in order to basically figure out which is a good fund to invest into. Of course, consistency of returns. Unfortunately, for any individual investor to get this data and to analyze this data is not very easy. And I think Money Control has a good solution over there. They have the MC30 list, which is a well-researched, curated list of mutual funds. And I do highly recommend people to go check out this list when they're looking at what is the right fund to invest into. So don't over-engineer. Like, for example, I've seen people asking, should I do daily SIP? All of that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You choose whichever day of the month. It doesn't matter. You cannot time all these things to perfection. Of course, you need to diversify. So, for example, I see people choosing the same fund house. They'll choose one large cap and one mid cap from the same fund house, right? So, please diversify within fund houses, because if you're going to choose the same fund house, there will be overlap in stocks for sure. So, ensure that you do a good amount of diversification between market caps and between fund houses as well. And your exit has to be very clear. So, as I have always said, that when you are investing in an SIP, it needs to be based on a financial goal, because only then you will know how long that you need to hold this SIP. So, it's important that you have an exit strategy in mind as well. And invest as per a financial goal. Look at exiting near a financial goal. And even with the SIP, you will certainly need to keep rebalancing based on your asset allocation. I do recommend a once in a year rebalance. If your allocation to a particular asset class has gone over by 15% or so, then you might want to look at reallocating. So, certainly, a good amount of diversification and having the rebalancing or an exit strategy in mind is also very important as far as SIPs are concerned.